Hey man, corporate wanted me to. What the fuck are you doing? The audio recording. Why? Right. Yeah. Well, corporate wanted me to ask you about like that predictions video, considering it's already the 22nd of January, as we're recording this. Wait, I'm sorry. The date is what? Yeah, man, it's the 22nd of January. The clash is in like 10 days or something. Corporate's kind of starting to worry if that video will even come out. You gotta be kidding me, man. Oh god, I need to make my video predictions. Oh god, I need to do research. God, come on. Fuck. Need to open my PowerPoint. Dude, I need your help here. Who won Bowman Gray last year? They didn't race Bowman Gray last year. What do you mean? You're of no help either. Fuck. Oh god. So, is that video coming out? Considering you missed last year? Just leave me alone, will ya? Fine. God damn. Another day at KR Studios, huh?
Yes, everyone, we are so back. Thank you for tuning in. My name is KR the Car Guy, and welcome to the NASCAR 2025 Predictions, the annual tradition on this YouTube channel. Don't ask what happened in 2024. That in which we try to predict everything that happens in the NASCAR season, all the winners, the playoffs, and eventually the champion. Now, There's not a lot of ways that I can say that all of this will be wrong, because I'm horrible at predicting. Nevertheless, I did predict the 2022 Joey Logano Championship, and I've been riding high ever since. So that's mainly what we're gonna go off here. These videos are a bit more rambly. There's no script. There's just a PowerPoint that I made with the predictions, and that's it. However, I would like to say that this is my highest in production value this year, simply because of the sketch at the beginning. The rest is still gonna be the same. But yeah, we're gonna go through everything, as I said. Wins, playoffs, debut wins, whatever. We're gonna see what happens in the 2025 season. Every race prediction, and eventually, at the end of the year, we'll probably look back at this and laugh and be like, yeah, no, that was all wrong. Anyways, I'd say it's time to just get started here. So, we start off, of course, with the clash at Bowman Gray. And quite honestly, I had no clue what to put here, so Denny Hamlin is gonna win that. It's a bit of a safe bet, considering he also won at the LA Coliseum last year, and these are very similar tracks in terms of like how they race, what kind of racing you need, etc. But yeah, it's a bit of a safe bet, but Denny Hamlin is gonna win the clash, which is this Sunday actually, which is terrifying. Because I need to get this recording out of the way ASAP. But that doesn't mean we're not going to take our time here today. We're going to start off with the Daytona 500, the big race. And yes, I'm calling it, people. Bubba Wallace is going to be a Daytona 500 champion. I think that 23XI team has improved enough to be a regular contender for wins. We saw it with Tyler Reddick. And coupled with, Bubba Wallace's very good super speedway instincts that we have seen throughout the past few years, I think it's absolutely possible, and I would love to see that happen for Bubba, for be a great moment for NASCAR as a whole. So yeah, Bubba Wallace wins the Daytona 500 and is the first driver to lock himself into the playoffs, but we'll get there when we get there. Next up, Atlanta. It's going to be Ryan Blaney. Blaney is of course very fast at Atlanta. I believe he won there last year too in the 3-wide finish, he finished second. Suarez won that, but yeah, no, they were so close, man, I couldn't tell. I was just crying that Kyle got third. No, but Blaney's very fast around Atlanta. I absolutely believe he could do it there. It's a bit insane to start with two super speedway races, meaning two upset victories that are possible. So I went with a safer pick for Atlanta here than I did for Daytona, because Daytona's always going to be crazy. Atlanta, you can still see someone who you could reasonably expect to win a race. win a race. So I'm going to go with Blaney, which is a bit of the safer option. He's the reigning champion. I believe he's going to at least, well, he's going to make the playoffs at the very least this year. At Coda, William Byron, another very safe pick by me, but you know, the Hendrick cars are fast round road courses. Byron is on a career high this after last season. I think he can absolutely do it. I can see, you know, the Coda win very, very easily. So yeah, there's not a lot to say about this one. I think he's just gonna do that, you know. At Phoenix, Kyle Larson continuing the Hendrick trend, and I mean, come on, Kyle Larson, you can pretty much place him everywhere and say, ooh, I think he's going to win here. So, here we go. Kyle Larson's going to win at Phoenix. Las Vegas is going to be Chris Buescher. Now, that's a bit of an interesting pick. I understand that. But I think that team has shown quite some speed at the intermediate tracks, especially last year. I think they were mainly just fucked over by a very late surge in speed. I think they've got that down war as we go into 2025, and I think Chris Buescher is going to get that first win of the season for Roush very early compared to last year where it was Brad Keselowski at Darlington. Then we go to Miami. I mean, Homestead, it's Tyler Reddick. I mean, come on. He's gonna ride the high lane for a few laps and then he's just gonna win. That's just what's gonna happen. I don't think it'll be as exciting as his victory last year, but I mean, come on. What else do you want me to say here? Well, it could be a Kyle Larson win, I guess, but that's less exciting. Come on, Tyler Reddick wins at the Straight Talk Wireless 400, which is a very long name. It's not nearly the longest name, but a very long name nonetheless. At Martinsville, William Byron again, first driver of the season to get 2 wins, and that'll be a trend. You'll see that as we continue. But yeah, William Byron with that Martinsville win, very fast team around the short tracks. I mean, yes, they did cheat last year, but I mean, come on, it's that car is still very fast, and Byron has a bit of a reputation for collapsing in the summer, and this isn't the summer yet, so you know he's not gonna need the cheating this time. Then we go to Darlington. Christopher Bell gets the first Joe Gibbs Racing points win, actually. Which is after the first 23-11 after the first 2 23-11 racing wins, which you know might be an interesting trend. However, as we will go on with this, you'll see that Bell is going to put up one hell of a season, but we're not there yet. But yeah, Christopher Bell opens his season here, opens his season at Darlington with a victory. He's won similar tracks before. He's been fast at Darlington. Absolutely, he can do it. Bristol, Chase Briscoe. Yes, that's a one hell of a pick. Yes, the 2 JGR wins in a row. I think Chase Briscoe is gonna win in his first season with Joe Gibbs Racing. And yes, Bristol, it's an interesting pick, I know, but I think Briscoe is criminally underrated on the short tracks. I mean, if you look at his Martinsville history, for instance, he's got like he hasn't finished outside the top 5 or top 10. Ever. I think once, maybe. And that was in his rookie season. He's very fast at the short tracks. And that was in a Stuart Haas car. Now he's got the JGR 19. You know, I think, which is already, you know, a very good team around the short tracks. So I think it's definitely possible for Chase Briscoe to get his first win with JGR at Bristol. And then Kyle Busch. Yes, this is one of my more biased picks. I'll be honest, but I don't think I was being too biased because it's a Talladega win. You know, it's wishy-washy. If Richard Childress Racing is gonna win anywhere without, you know, blatantly cheating, it's gonna be Talladega. So you know, and Kyle Busch, he's been kind of proving himself recently as faster on the plate tracks than he used to be. You know, he used to be very short track and intermediate focused. Now with the RCR car just not being there, he's shown more speed. He's shown more speed on these super speedways, so I wouldn't think it's unreasonable, is what I'm gonna say here. I don't think it's unreasonable for Busch to win at Talladega. And believe me, this is a bit biased, but once we get to the playoffs, you'll see I'm not taking him to the Final Four or anything like I would have done like when he was still at JGR, or even I think I don't quite remember, but his first season at RCR had him go to like round 8 or Final 4 too. That was an embarrassment. Anyways, we're 10 races into the season now. Ford had a very strong start to the season. You know, you had Blaney and Buescher winning, but after that, they were kind of nowhere for the rest. HMS and JGR have now fully taken, you know, the reign, the dominance over the championship fight. Hendrick especially has the most wins, and then JGR, you know, they had a slower start, so to say, because we first had the 223.11 wins or 23XI wins, whichever one. But they are now fully in control of the Toyota program. Byron is the only repeat winner so far, and Kyle Busch has won a race, which I had to highlight again because I'm biased. We now go to Texas, where I predict another rookie. No, actually, this is the first debut win, the first win for a driver. It's gonna be Ty Gibbs. Ty Gibbs has been very, very fast around Texas, both in Xfinity and Cup Series. I think he's definitely had, you know, the bad luck of the strategy last year with his crew chief, who now went to Denny Hamlin. So, you know, Hamlin fans, watch out for that. But I think with the proper crew around him, with the fast cars, which I'm, you know, predicting JGR will have, I think he definitely can get like a 1.5 mile win. And if anywhere, it's going to be Texas, because he's very, very fast around Texas. I think, yeah, that's my justification. Then we go to Kansas, and we get a Joey Logano win. Yes, it's going to be an uneven year, Joey Logano, which means he'll actually be fast this time, but he won't win. That's usually the curse for Logano, you know. In an even year, he'll do nothing all year and then win. And in an uneven year, he'll be pretty fast and lose. But yeah, we start that off here at Kansas, which is, you know, a pretty strong Ford track, pretty strong Penske track. And Logano has always been really fast around Kansas. So yeah, nothing too unreasonable here, I'd say. Then we go to North Wilkesboro, the All-Star race, which will be won by Alex Bowman, his first victory of the year. Not a points-paying victory. But yeah, Alex Bowman, it's a bit of an interesting one, North Wilkesboro, but I just had to pick. I think Alex Bowman is a surprisingly fast driver. I have overrated him in past predictions, I will agree to that, but I think that he's definitely got the speed to at least, you know, win an all-star race and get that $1 million. But yeah, no, North Wilkesboro, it is a track that kind of works well with the Hendrick cars, and you know, I already had the other guys in the prediction list, so here you go, Alex Bowman. Then we go to the Coca-Cola 600 at Charlotte, the crown jewel, which will be won by Denny Hamlin. Yes, I'm afraid it's going to be another year where Hamlin is fast. I'm sorry, haters. But no, but Denny Hamlin, he's a very fast driver. The Coca-Cola 600 always kind of favors the experienced, except for last year when Bell won due to the rain delay. But, you know, overall, the Coca-Cola 600 is a race where you have to be experienced or talented or both. Hamlin is both. I think, you know, it's a bit of a, it's very reasonable. I think it's almost a bit of a no-brainer. Although, you know, saying that, he'll probably finish 36 on his roof, you know, when I say it. So, you know, I have to go back to the first page. Everything will be wrong. Anyways, we move on to the Ally 400 at Nashville. It's a Kyle Larson track. Larson wins again, still a very fast driver. He's not been as crazy as he was last year so far. But, you know, he's still Larson. He's still going to win races. And, you know, he does it here for the Ally 400 at Nashville, which I think is a track that just lies him really well. And we go to Michigan, where Ryan Blaney picks up his second win of the season. Yeah, Michigan is a Ford track. I've always believed that. And Blaney, you know, being the reigning champion, he is still very much the fastest Ford. I mean, let's be real here. He was last year. He's going to be this year. That's at least my opinion on this year, not on last year. Last year he was by far the fastest Ford. It was not Joey that year at all. But yeah, no, absolutely. I think he can win Michigan and, you know, get a good win going, get Ford a bit back up, because Ford has not been that good recently. You'll notice, you know, we had a Logano win in the past races, and that's basically it. So we keep going to Mexico, where Chase Elliott will win. I mean, come on. This is once again a no-brainer. It's a road course race. It's a relatively new track. It's going to be a Chase Elliott win. Elliott hasn't won yet this season, which might be surprising, but Elliott hasn't really shown that he hasn't really shown that much form since, well, basically since the next gen came around. I'd say that the year after his championship, or not the year after his championship, the two years after his championship. But yeah, no, Elliott's, I don't know. I want to give Elliott more wins, you know, but I just couldn't. I couldn't justify it because he's just not that fast anymore. He's fast. Like, don't get me wrong. There's gonna be Elliott fans in the comments. Don't get me wrong. He's fast. He's still in a Hendrick car. He can still win races, but it's just not as insane, I think, as he used to be. Like, a 2020 Chase Elliott was a threat nearly everywhere. 2025 Chase Elliott will be decent. He would have made the playoffs even if he didn't win. Let's say it like that. And then at the Great American Getaway 400, it's gonna be Christopher Bell at Pocono. You know, Pocono, I've always felt, is more of a JGR track, more of a Joe Gibbs track. I mean, he had a 1-2 there only 2 years ago, and well, 3 years ago, and that kinda ended in a 1-2 disqualification and a Chase Elliott win. But you know, they're very fast around there. Christopher Bell's gonna have one hell of a season. He now joins Blaney and Byron as the only double winners, and you know, all of them have a B in their name. Is that a coincidence? Who knows? But yeah, no, Christopher Bell wins at Pocono. I think, you know, he's a fast driver there, and the car is fast there, so yeah, no brainer. And then at Atlanta, we're going to see Brad Keselowski get his first win of the season, his second win with his own team. And yeah, that's going to be really exciting. Yeah, I think that's just going to be really exciting, honestly. Atlanta, as I said, bit of a 4-track. Blaney won there in the first Atlanta race in these predictions. I think Keselowski is going to absolutely do it, absolutely take the second win there. Roush, I think, have their plate racing program pretty much down, especially on a bit of a hybrid track like Atlanta is. It's not as crazy as Daytona, as I said. And Keselowski, I mean, he's a Cup champion. He's still a very, very good driver. So, you know, I would never count him out, and especially not at a place like Atlanta. And then, woo, exciting pick, everyone. Shane Van Gisbergen will win a points-paying race, will win the Grand Park 165 in Chicago. I mean, it's not that exciting of a pick. It's definitely going to be a Chevy, that's for sure. But I just picked Shane Van Gisbergen. He's just going to get his second win at this track because, come on. The only reason he didn't win last year was because everything else went wrong. But, you know, yeah, it's a good car. It's good. It's the only Trackhouse win so far. But Trackhouse has always got a good road course package. And Shane Van Gisbergen is just one of the best road course drivers out there. Yeah, I think... well, we'll get there actually. We'll get to the analysis very soon. Namely now. 20 races into the season now. We have more and more repeat winners. You know, you saw Blaney and Bell get in there. JGR and HMS continue the lead. 2311 falls off, which I think... I definitely don't think it'll be the end of the season for 2311. We'll see that as we go. But I do think that 2311 is going to have a large slump throughout this period, throughout like race 10 to race 20, especially as we get closer, as we go through like the middle part of the regular season and get closer to the playoffs. But yeah, no, JGR and HMS absolutely the top teams as we speak. Penske continuing to be the number 1 Ford team. I hope I'm not saying anything controversial there. I would want Roush. I would want Roush to be it, but you know, Penske clearly shows they're the only ones who have really understood both the tactics and the cars themselves, because the Fords, they're still behind, right? Like, developmentally speaking, the Fords are absolutely behind the Chevys and the Toyotas. That's not a question. But Penske understands the tactics, understands the strategies, and understands how to make the car work in a way that Roush doesn't entirely, I feel. And that's not a hate towards Roush. I mean, they've won 2 races so far, but you know, they don't entirely have the same speed that Penske can get out of these cars. And SVG, Shane Van Gisbergen, is the only Trackhouse winner. Trackhouse has kind of been on a decline recently. I feel like, you know, 2022 they had everything going their way. They made the Final Four, and then 2023 only Suarez made the playoffs. And I don't think it's going to be much improved here in 2025. By the way, I got my years totally wrong there. Wow. But yeah, no, I don't think it's going to be much improved. I think SVG being the only Trackhouse winner so far is quite realistic. I wish them the best. I'm not gonna sit here saying I'm the biggest Trackhouse fan ever, but I wish, Trackhouse the best, but I just don't see realistically how they're gonna get out of this slump in 1 year and go back to the Final Four contenders that they were. We're gonna start here again at Sonoma, where Tyler Reddick wins. So remember when I just said that 23-11 fell off? Yeah, we're gonna get closer to the playoffs, and that slump is gonna be relatively over. Reddick joins Blaney, Bell, and Byron as the three-peat winners. The two-peat winners, actually not three-peat. Which is that even a word? The repeat. It's just called repeat, but Reddick joins them at Sonoma. I think he's an underrated road course driver. I mean, he was very, very fast at Coda. He won there, I believe. Although I might be saying something. No, he won. He won 2022, I think. Or 2023. Who knows? But he's very underrated road course driver. And I think he definitely has what it takes to win at Sonoma. And just kind of show that the spark with 23-11 is still alive. At Dover, it's going to be Byron getting his third win. I mean, Dover is a Hendrick track. Once again, I'm drawing these conclusions very much based on what manufacturer, what team is fast, and Dover is a Hendrick track. And with Byron being the lead Hendrick driver right now, Larson also has 2 wins. By the way, I just realized that, but Dover is but Byron is absolutely the leading Hendrick driver. And Dover is going to be where he gets his next win. So that's how I got that. How I got to that decision. Byron is going to kind of pick up the lead at Hendrick Motorsports after getting close to doing so last year. But, it was still quite a battle between him and Larson. But I think now he's just firmly in the lead. At Indianapolis, Bell joins him. And these two are going to be the rivals as the season goes on here now. As Bell and Byron are going to be duking it out. And you see here, both get their third wins after each other. Not to be outdone by Byron. Bell is going to do it at a Crown Jewel event at the Brickyard 400. There's not much explaining to do, I feel like. Bell is just quite a fast driver around Indianapolis. He's always been that fast. And I think Joe Gibbs Racing, usually has a shot at the Brickyard. And absolutely has the capability and the speed to do it here with Christopher Bell, who's, also taking the lead at his respective team, actually. I talked about Byron, but Bell is absolutely taking the lead at JGR. I feel like he already has. I think it's less close between him and Hamlin than it was between Byron and Larson, but, this season is really going to be his coming out of his shell moment and showing the world, what he's got in terms of pace. At Iowa, finally, Alex Bowman gets his first points-paying win, as it takes even longer than last year, and that's partially due to me really kind of course-correcting on my overrating of him, and partially just due to the amount of bad luck that that 48 team has had throughout, the entirety of the next-gen era. Back in 2020, 2021, there were absolutely glimpses where they could be easy championship contenders. And say what you will, comment what you will, I believe that 100%. Start of 2020, that 88 team was the fastest Hendrick car. Alright? Won't hear anything else. That they were. And 2021, they were always there fighting for the win. They could have made it. They could have made the round of 8 easily, but got screwed over. Honestly, last year would have made the round of 8 if Hendrick didn't inexplicably decide to cheat on a track where Bowman is historically very good, and would have probably made it without cheating. But irrelevant. Bowman, he's just been having terrible luck in the next gen era. He's been having terrible luck before, but now it's kind of transferring to the whole season, so to say. He's not really as fast as he was in the Gen 6 anymore, but and a lot of that is just due to bad calls, due to getting caught up in wrecks, due to all of that. So yeah, I'm gonna give him his first win very late, but yeah, the Iowa Corn 350 in Iowa is gonna be where Bowman will do it. Rest assured, Bowman fans, Alex will get a regular season win. He'll make the playoffs on his win, don't worry. And then Watkins Glen, Cole Custer. Now this was a battle in my head, I'm not gonna lie, because I wanted one more underdog winner, and I didn't want it to be, a plate race or whatever. I don't believe that anymore. Plate races nowadays are chaotic, but you will usually see the usual suspects get to the front. I mean, Daytona was Blaney last year, or was it? It was one of the guys. But yeah, no. You will usually, the Daytona 500 last year was William Byron, who continued to be very good throughout the rest of the season. I think, so, it's not that crazy anymore. So it's like, no upset winners on the play track. And then I was like, road courses. Road courses are where that can still happen. And Cole Custer, say what you will, is a very underrated road course racer. I've said it again. Very underrated road course racer. But he is. I remember, his performance at the Chicago street course just last year. I think, I'm kind of feeling out the speed of this Haas team. This Haas factory team. Because I don't know if they're comparable to SHR last year. I think it's a possibility. I don't think it's a big possibility. But, I mean, Chase Briscoe won at Darlington last year in that car. Admittedly, I do rate Briscoe above Custer a lot. But I think it's possible, especially with his speed around the road courses. So, I'm kind of still feeling it out, but I think it's definitely possible for the Haas factory team to grab a win. As they do it at a road course where, strategy, damn, usually means more than overall speed. And, just the sheer regular staying out of trouble. And I think Cole Custer and Haas can really get that done there. Richmond, Joey Logano. Very fascinating pick, I know. No, but Richmond, he literally would have won last year if it wasn't for an act of unironical terrorism. I'm so for real. That was just genuine terrorism that should be investigated by the Department of Homeland Security. But, Logano is fast there. And once again, this is an uneven year, Joey Logano. So he's going to get some regular season wins. Might even get a playoff win, but, we all know how it usually goes, unfortunately, for the Logano fans. And then the final race before the playoffs, the Coke Zero Sugar 400 at Daytona, which is going to be won by Ryan Blaney. Blaney, of course, being a very fast plate racer himself, just going to get, that second Penske win in there. And that's going to be his third win of the season as well. So yeah, that's basically it before the playoffs. I don't feel like I have to explain this win that much, but that's the last race for the playoffs. So who made the playoffs? Well, we've had actually, if you've been keeping track, we've had 16 different winners. So 16 people make the playoffs. By order of when they won, that's Bubba Wallace with his singular win, Ryan Blaney with his 3 wins, Byron with his 3 wins, Larson with his 2 wins, Chris Buescher with his 1 win, Reddick with his 2 wins, Bell with his 3 wins, Briscoe with his 1 win, Kyle Busch with his 1 win, Ty Gibbs with his 1 win, Joey Logano with his 2 wins, Denny Hamlin with his 1 win, Brad Keselowski with his 1 win, Chase Elliott with his 1 win, Alex Bowman with his 1 win, and finally with another 1 win, Cole Custer. So you can clearly see, in this round of 16 field, who are, the fastest cars. You can see Bell, Byron, Blaney, Larson, Reddick, all with multiple wins. Joey Logano too, actually. Hamlin surprisingly still with 1 win. That might change, who knows. Yeah, and again, there's some drivers, that unfortunately do kind of look like round 1 replacements. I'm looking at guys like Custer, like Busch, like Wallace, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Maybe Joey Logano gets eliminated first round. You don't know that. We're going to start at Darlington, which is going to be a Tyler Reddick win. Tyler Reddick getting his 3rd win of the season. And, Darlington is also it's not similar to Homestead per se, but it's still, you can really run the outside really well there, and that's what Tyler Reddick does. So, he opens the playoffs with a win, get himself into the next round, show that 23XI, 2311 is here to stay, alright? That's what they're going to do, that he's going to show just how fast that team can get. Next up at Gateway, it's going to be Christopher Bell getting his 4th win of the season. The rivalry between him and Byron continues, as he now just has that edge. He locks himself into the round of 12 and he wins his 4th race of the season. And finally at Bristol, it's going to be Denny Hamlin getting his 2nd win. Slightly biased maybe, but come on, Hamlin is a very fast short track racer. That was a hard sentence to say for some reason, but yeah, Hamlin is a very fast short track racer. I think JGR really has got the package down this year too. So yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. And this is a win that gets him his 2nd win of the season, puts him in the multiple wins category again, and gets him into the round of 12. So that round of 12 now sorted by wins, and then, you know, the standings is going to be Tyler Reddick, Christopher Bell, Denny Hamlin, Ryan Blaney, William Byron, Kyle Larson, Chris Buescher, Chase Briscoe, Ty Gibbs, Joey Logano, Chase Elliott, and Alex Bowman. You know, we had guys like Custer, Busch, Bubba. They've been unfortunately eliminated. They were great drivers, but they just wouldn't have made it, unfortunately. And yeah, you see, this is what I mean when I'm saying I wasn't biased in favor of Kyle Busch. A Talladega win in a round of 16 elimination is not a good season for anyone. But yeah, Ty Gibbs makes the round of 12, which, you know, I kind of did surprise myself with. But I was looking at, you know, who to eliminate, who not to eliminate, and it came down between Gibbs and Keselowski, and it just felt like Gibbs would make more sense to make the round of 12 because the JGR cars are faster. He's gonna have, you know, the better crew chief, the better strategy. This is his first playoff appearance, I believe, and he's gonna win it. He is gonna punch through to the round of 12, I believe. Chase Briscoe was another relatively hard choice, but he's in the JGR 19. He has to make the round of 12 basically. And in your round of 12, we start off with a Chris Buescher win. Chris Buescher kind of sneaked into the round of 12, but I think, you know, they have got, as I said, although I don't believe Roush has the Ford package down equally, they still have it down pretty well. So yeah, there's that. And then New Hampshire is a Chris Buescher track. It's a track where he's very good at, so he's going to win. He's going to lock himself into the round of 8. Surprising, yes, going to cost someone else, probably, but still, he's going to do it. And then William Byron gets his 4th win of the season, joining Christopher Bell, keeping that rivalry going at Kansas. Kansas, you know, I said it was a 4-track, but I'm also predicting Byron and Bell to have some breakout seasons here. And William Byron, a win at Kansas, I mean, it's still a mile and a half. It's still going to be a good track for Hendrick, and it's still going to be a good track for William Byron. So yeah, he wins at Kansas. And then Chase Elliott gets his 2nd win of the season, also at a road course at the Charlotte Roval. I don't believe I'm saying anything surprising there. Yeah, I mean, he's going to win the Roval. Let's be real here. He's just very fast there. And Hendrick, you know, has the cars at the Roval, so no, not a big shock. And that means Elliott does actually make the round of 8. All round of 8 drivers have multiple wins, you can see. Buescher with his 2 wins, Byron with his 4, Elliott with his 2, Reddick with his 3 wins, Christopher Bell with 4 wins too. Like Byron, they're the ones, the truly fighting ones. Then you got Denny Hamlin, Ryan Blaney, and Kyle Larson. So yes, that does unfortunately mean for the Joey Logano fans that he is eliminated. Which, you know, I kind of did foreshadow all the way at the beginning. It's going to be an uneven year, Logano. I just think he's going to have some terrible luck throughout that round of 12. It's just not going to be good for him. Unlike last year, which was the exact opposite. But yeah, no, it's not going to be good on him. Ty Gibbs doesn't make it either. He's still young, you know. I think, like, if you look at the caliber of drivers that we have on display here in the round of 8, like, the only one he would have maybe beaten was Chris Buescher, and I don't think he would even on outright points. But yeah, no, that's that was my reasoning. Alex Bowman once again misses 2. It's very sad, and yeah, that's basically all the storylines that are going to this round of 8. 3 more drivers can lock themselves in. One's gonna get in on points. If either of them doesn't lock in, it's gonna be Bell or Byron on points. Let's be real here, but we'll see how it goes. Byron starts off the round with locking himself in at Las Vegas. Once again, mile and a half racetrack. Byron is usually fast there. So yeah, absolutely he's going to do it. He's just going to punch his ticket. He's going to get to that Final Four with Phoenix once again. He's going to continue his streak, except this time, you know, he's the proper lead Hendrick driver in a way that he wasn't last year. Talladega is going to be a Joey Logano win. I think Joey Logano is a very good plate racer. I think he's very fast on the plate tracks. And I think if Talladega had been in the round of 12, he would have made the round of 8 and possibly the Final 4. But yeah, unfortunately, he is eliminated, but he is going to win quite big here at Talladega. It's going to be a bit of an emotional victory, of course, because he could have made it. But yeah, no, Logano wins at Talladega. And then the final driver, let's see if someone locks themselves in. Yes, it's Christopher Bell. Christopher Bell punches his ticket at Martinsville. I mean, yeah, you know, was it the wall riding? That probably wasn't wall riding in my opinion, but I'm biased. But you know, who cares? Aside, but Bell is just very, very fast around Martinsville. I mean, he won there when Chastain did the Hail Melon. He's won there. He's been top 5 like almost every race in the next gen, Bell is gonna win at Martinsville. I mean, let's be real here. And that's he's the final driver to punch his ticket as into the final 4. Is it gonna be entirely kosher? Is it gonna be entirely clean? Maybe not. Ooh. Prediction. No, but he is gonna win it in a lot more of a fair, between quotation marks, way, because, well, I mean, it's hard to say if it was unfair or fair or whatever. I think the unfair part wasn't even the wall ride, but let's not get bogged down by that. Bell's gonna get a win that sticks. That's all that matters. And then we're gonna go to your final 4. So Christopher Bell, most recent who locked himself in the Joe Gibbs Racing 20. He's got 5 wins on the season: Darlington, Pocono, Indy, Gateway, and Martinsville. Really strong season for Christopher Bell. Really just showing what he's made of, showing why he's the lead JGR driver. Then we gotta get William Byron, who makes it. Also 5 wins on the season. One of the most dominant drivers. He's gonna win, you know, he won Coda, Martinsville, Dover, Kansas, and the second race at Las Vegas. So, you know, he's absolutely got the power. He's absolutely got the speed. I mean, some of these tracks are pretty comparable to Phoenix. Don't wanna say anything yet, but you know, he definitely has the most varied wins of the season. A little more varied than Christopher Bell, I'd say. Then your third driver in the final 4 is gonna be Tyler Reddick. Yes, 2311 does make it. I'm gonna be honest. 90% of me is just putting this here purely because it's funny to put a 2311 car in the final 4, given, you know, the lawsuit and everything. But I also just think Tyler Reddick is really fast, and I think he's gonna do this. He won Miami, Sonoma, Darlington. That's not unreasonable tracks for Tyler Reddick to win at all. And I think he's gonna get a second ticket to Phoenix. And then finally, yes, Ryan Blaney does make it in once again. And yes, it's a lot more conventional, I'd say, than last year, and especially than 2022. And last year was pretty conventional. Yeah, 2022 wasn't, when they did the Joey Logano trick of, you know, playing it all out. But yeah, no, Blaney also comes in with 3 wins. Atlanta 1. That should say Michigan. What's it that says Atlanta 2? That should say Michigan. I don't know why I wrote Atlanta 2. And then Daytona 2. Yeah, this kind of makes him look like a super speedway merchant. He wasn't. He won Michigan, guys. He won Michigan. No, but yeah, no, Blaney makes it in. So that means that there's the possibility of another Penske Championship, something that I think most of us are fearing at this point. But the question is, will we see that? Well, which one will it be? Gotta go back. Bell, Byron. Obviously the championship favorites, 5 wins each, but it's a playoff format. It's a winner-takes-all race at Phoenix. You don't know. Tyler Reddick not as fast around Phoenix, and 2311 has shown to kind of crumble under the pressure of the final 4, although, you know, hopefully, maybe that'll change for them. And then Ryan Blaney, who has been very fast at Phoenix, but just doesn't have, you know, the momentum that he did last year. So which is gonna be? Which is it gonna be? Am I gonna go crazy? No. I'm just gonna say it right now. I'm not gonna go crazy. I'm not gonna say, you know, oh, it's gonna be Blaney, even though he's had the least wins of everyone here, and he's probably lowest in points. Otherwise, you know, let's not forget he did point himself in. All right, like, crazy or not, Reddick and Blaney pointed themselves in here. They're not in here because of lack of merit, but you know, they weren't the fastest car year round. So I'm just gonna say it. William Byron, your 2025 NASCAR Cup Series champion. Yes, yes, it was a bit predictable. He started off very strong, had kind of a slump in the middle, and then finished it off with one hell of a playoff run. He's constantly neck and neck with Christopher Bell, but it's gonna be William Byron who I think gets it at Phoenix. He's gonna win the championship, win the race probably. You know, I think Byron and that Hendrick 24 team have learned from their mistakes last year and are now going to truly show us what they are capable of here in 2025. I think a Byron championship is only a matter of time, and that's the same guy that said that Chase Elliott would have like 2 championships by now, but also the guy that said that Logano would win 2022. So, you know, take the part that you wish. No, and I think a Byron championship is only a matter of time, especially considering how he's been running lately. You know, personally, I would like Bell to win more, but Christopher Bell doesn't have the Phoenix speed. I mean, he's never really been that good around Phoenix, and he has to be to win this, so unfortunately that's where that story ends for him. And there is your top 16 finishers. Byron wins the championship with 6 wins. I think Blaney's going to finish second at Phoenix, which is going to give him the second place in the championship with his 3 wins. Then third in the playoffs, but probably second in the overall championship. I think Byron wins the points championship as well, yeah. But third in the championship, second in the full points format is Christopher Bell with his 5 wins. And then Reddick with 3 wins, because that 23-11 team was just not fast around Phoenix. They were in there, but they were never a serious contender, which I dislike that, because it would have been really cool. But yeah, no, Reddick's gonna get a nice 4th place. Nothing to be ashamed of at all. And then, you know, you got Larson, you got Hamlin, Elliott, surprisingly P7. But, you know, once again, that's mainly due to the 2 wins on the season. I think on pace, once again, he would have made the playoffs, probably in around 8. But I don't know if I would say, you know, he wins, he would have made P7 in points. But yeah, then we got Busher, Logano, with that horrible bad luck round of 12. We got Ty Gibbs, Chase Briscoe, Alex Bowman, Keselowski, Wallace, Kyle Busch, and Cole Custer to round out your top 16 for the 2025 season. Now, do I believe everything in this? No. But do I believe that Final 4? No. But do I believe the championship? Yes. No, I believe the Final 4 can happen, but of course, the main thing that I run into is that, you know, this is all based on 2024 results, and we are not in 2024 anymore, so who knows what will happen. That is your results. I want to thank you for watching. It's been a long one. I'm just now looking at my OBS. God damn. Yeah, thank you for sticking with it. And if you skip to the end, I don't blame you. These are your final point standings, and I will be making a video at the end of the year looking back and just seeing what I got wrong, because it will be an absolute tragedy. But yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.